Hi everyone, Lady Rose here with you today to do the Pick a Pile reading that I had set up. So I'm just getting the cards out here for you, and I'm going to go over which decks we're using this week. And this has been quite an interesting week of energies. We've got a lot of things in retrograde. We've got Mars going into Aries. So if you don't know what that means, Mars is the god of war, and he's going into a very fiery sign of war. So if you find that, and now a lot of people find that, oh, maybe this means more arguments, that sort of thing, more warring with family or more warring with friends and spouses and things like that. But really, Mars, the god of war, can also be the wise warrior, knowing when to pick your battles, knowing what battles are winnable and how to go about them with some diplomacy as opposed to actual war, because war is about diplomacy as well. So keep that in mind. Maybe you'll be more diplomatic in the way that you present things, in the way that you discuss or debate, as opposed to full-on arguing. So speaking of diplomacy, one of the decks I'm using this week is the Mermaids deck. I pulled out my Mermaids, haven't had them out in a while, but feeling the Mermaids this week. So these Mermaids often are not diplomatic. Like I always warn people when they want them for their reading, that they'll tell you the truth. They will always tell you the truth. It's not going to always be nice, but they will tell you the truth. So you always know you're getting the truth from them, but you don't always get it in a very diplomatic way. We also have, as our first card, the Moonology card. I do love this deck. I pretty much put this deck into every reading I do because I just find it such a great way to know what kind of energy you're in for this week, kind of thing. So I've had a full morning of, well, full day almost. It's almost 3 o'clock, and I've had a full day of nothing but readings all day long. So I'm glad to be doing these Pick a Pile for you guys. I love doing these. These are so much fun. And then of course I've got my pendulum for when I'm doing some of the pendulum questions that you guys put up on Facebook. Thank you so much for participating and asking your questions, that sort of thing. So then to sort of counter the Mermaids, in the sense that the Mermaids will tell you the truth regardless of what it is, these guys will tell you the truth, but in a gentle way. And they like to give a little gentle guidance. So it's messages from your spirit guides, the oracle cards. So that's the second deck. This week I decided not to use tarot. I don't know why. I just have 4 oracle decks that I'm using. So there it is. So I'm using the 4 oracle cards, and the 4th one is the Power of Surrender. So this is sort of like last week when I used the Fool's Wisdom. These cards tend to tell you what maybe you need to let go of in your life, what you need to surrender to. That's always the biggest step I find when I'm dealing with my HEAP clients. When I teach them how to manifest things into their life, the number 1 step to do is to trust and to surrender. And that's often the hardest step to do, to successfully manifest things in your life. So I picked different, here we are. I had some fun this week, and I picked some different cards. I seem to be missing one. Oh, no, it's right here, right in front of me. So we've got the swords, the coins, the chalices, and the wands. So depending on what you picked. So those are actually the 4 suits of tarot, even though I'm not doing tarot cards this week. If you do want to go a little deeper into any of these readings, please feel free to message me. I do readings both in person here in my parlor, or I do them online. Currently I'm just doing them online on Wednesdays. So message me if you want an online reading. Or if you're local, you can come in to Kingston. I'm in the parlor Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So that's when I do the in-person readings. And like I said, it's been busy, and a lot of people have been, I don't know what's in the air these days, but a lot of people have been ordering up their birth charts and their dragon readings, which is a part of an astrological chart that I do, star signatures, things like that. So a lot of people are diving into their astrological charts and whatnot. If you ever want to know more about that, please message me. I can tell you more. I might actually do a video on what the different things are, because there's more than just your birth chart that you can get. So, but we're going to start with the swords. People that picked the swords pile. So we'll start with that and see what's going on. Ooh, okay, so you start out with the Moonology card. You've got a new moon in Libra. So right now, this week is going to be a lot of new starts for you. You're going to hesitate on some of those new starts because you're in a Libra energy as well, and Libras tend to be perfectionists. They don't like to start things until it's the perfect day, the perfect time, the perfect way, but don't let that hold you back. So that's a bit of a warning that there's going to be opportunities for new beginnings. Take those opportunities. Don't hesitate in, well, I don't know if it's the perfect time right now. Just jump, kind of thing. But a new romantic cycle begins this week for you. And romance doesn't always mean love romance. Like, it might mean a new person is coming in, or that there's a reconnection with someone you've been with if you're in long term, but it can also be a new romance of life. You know, you're seeing things in a different light. You've fallen in love with a new hobby, with a new book, with a new job, a new career, a new way of doing something, whatever it might be. You may have a new romantic cycle with yourself, you know, like, geez, I'm really feeling good about myself. I'm feeling really romantic. So it's going to be kind of a romantic week for you in all aspects. In literal romance, but also with yourself, with what you're doing. Like I said, a new book or hobby. Maybe your career becomes a little easier this week. It just seems like, wow, it's going really well. But there is a change coming, so this is good. So this is the mermaids, and their card is blessed change. So meaning, not only are you blessed, yes, but they're going, oh, thank God there's a change happening. Because for some reason, the mermaids seem to think you've been stagnating and you've been sort of stuck in a rut kind of thing. So get out of your routine, they're saying. A major life change brings you great blessings. So look for that change. Again, it's a new moon, so you're in that cycle of new opportunities presenting themselves. Do not hesitate. Take it. If there's a change, if there's a way to change it and do it. Because the mermaids are saying, you got to change something. You got to do something to stop this rut that you're in. So if you've been feeling like you're in a rut, look for those changes, and it will bring you many blessings. If you want to go deeper into that, let me know and we can do a reading. So your spirit animal that you got is the elk. So the elk is stand tall and maintain your dignity no matter what, and others will treat you with the respect that you deserve. So sometimes we undervalue ourselves, and sometimes we believe what other people might say, or we believe the judgments we think they're giving us, whether they're giving it to us or not. I was talking to a couple clients today about that. It's like, do you do things and the decisions you're making in your life, are you doing them because you think about the perspective that other people will have on your life? And you know, there was a real aha moment in one of my readings where the light bulb just went on, and I saw the shift. I was like, oh, something changed there. What changed? And she made a decision that she'd been wondering and pondering about for a very long time, and suddenly the answer came to her because of this card that said, you know, you need to just be who you are and stand by it. And that's kind of what the elk is saying. Stand tall, no matter what other people are saying. It doesn't matter what other people are saying. If it's for you, if it's for your higher good, if it feels good, if it doesn't offend you in some way, and I don't mean offend in like the traditional way, I mean do what's right for your soul. Anything that you're doing that's not part of your life purpose is basically offending your soul. So do what's right for your soul, no matter what people say, no matter what perceived judgments you have, whether they're real or whether they're in your head, whether you're making the decisions based off what other people think or what you think other people are thinking. Don't make those decisions in that place. Make them in a place of strength. Make them in a place of centeredness. So really meditate and contemplate on what you're doing and whether it's for the good and higher good of yourself. So stand tall and maintain your dignity no matter what, because there might be a few stones thrown your way. Don't let that bother you. And others will treat you with the respect that you deserve, partly because I think you're undervaluing yourself. You judge yourself way harshly than anyone else does, and you don't give anybody the opportunity to give you respect. So don't be afraid to take the respect people want to give you and do that blessed change like your girlfriends are saying. You know, the mermaids are our girlfriends that will be like, girl, you just got to change and do something different. So you got to get out of that rut, stand tall, know who you are, and know that you're enough right now. You're worthy of the blessings that want to come into your life. You might not fully believe that right now, but it's true. So keep that in mind. Now, the thing you have to let go of is fear. Your next card is surrender fear. And that is such a block for a lot of us. Fear. Fear is fear of judgment, fear of not being enough, fear of losing control. You know, you got to surrender that fear. It says, let go of the fearful stories you are telling yourself. Stay in the moment, stay in the now, because fear is about worry. Worry is now you're living in the past or you're living in the future. If you're worrying about past mistakes that you made or past blunders, we've all made blunders. So just get through it. Don't even worry about it and move forward. Or sometimes fear can also be living in the future. Fear of, making that mistake. Fear of falling down. Don't be afraid to fall down. That's how we learn. So stay in the moment, stay in the now, and focus on solutions and celebrate every baby step forward. And when babies learn to walk, because we all did it, we didn't just get off the couch one day away from our mother's breast and go, I'm going to walk now, and just started walking. We took a couple of steps maybe and then fell flat on our faces probably. And our parents celebrated the first step that we took. It didn't matter if we fell after the second step or even after the first step. They were amazed and awed and they were like, oh my God, she walked. Celebrate in that fashion for yourself now, because every baby step you take forward is worth celebrating. Even if you fall down, even if you take a couple steps forward and a couple steps back, that's okay. It's babies are like little drunk people, so they take steps sideways and forwards and backwards and stuff like that, but keep moving. As long as you're moving and you don't allow yourself to sit in that fear. I recently posted something on my Goddess Garage tarot parlor page of sometimes we can't get rid of being afraid. Sometimes we're afraid and we can't get rid of it, and so we have to do what we need to do afraid. Don't be afraid to be afraid, sort of thing. And try to let go of the fear, but don't let that stop you. Move forward anyways, even if you are scared. In fact, if you are scared, it means you're probably moving in the right direction. So be moving this week. You need to move. You need to get out of that rut. You need to change something. And blessings will come in when you do. And if you're scared, take that step. That's a sign you're supposed to take that step forward. So look for those opportunities. They're coming, and it's this week that they're coming. Coins. Those of you that picked coins, or the pentacles, as they're sometimes called in tarot. So your first card, coin people, you've got a new moon in Pisces, and it's meditate and contemplate. So I was telling another client got this card today. So this is the energy you've kind of been in. There's one of two groups that you've kind of been in for the last week, maybe two, kind of thing. Is either you've been having a really hard time and your ground keeps slipping and you're like not sure where to step, that sort of thing. You've been, again, a little fearful. Or you have been up in the clouds, up in the ether, daydreaming a lot and not really connected, feeling maybe a little flaky and not sure. Again, it's sort of instability, but in a different way. You need to ground yourself. This week is very important that you ground yourself. So by ground yourself, I mean get yourself steady. When you're sitting, try to keep your feet flat on the floor. Try to eat more root vegetables, potatoes, carrots, turnips, beets, things like that. Because root vegetables are very grounding. Eating is very grounding, but root vegetables in particular are very grounding. Stay in your body, be in your body, feel what's going on in your body. Maybe this week this is sort of a thing to contemplate what's going on with your body, be aware of it. So when you're meditating, one of the meditations you can do is bring attention to each part of your body, starting at your feet. Wiggle your toes. I'm aware of my toes. Let's send some love to my toes, to my feet, up to your shins, to your calves, to your knees, thighs, and so on. Kind of like that song, and the knee bone's connected to the thigh bone. I'm not going to sing the whole thing, but or head and shoulders, knees and toes. So keep that in mind. That's sort of a meditation to bring awareness to your body. It'll help keep you in the now as well, because you've been kind of tending to float off, be disconnected in some way. So you really need to ground yourself. Go outside, walk on grass. If there's grass or cement to walk on the grass if you can. Touch the odd tree now and again. Just send it some love, take some love, that sort of thing. Trees are kind of like leave a penny, take a penny kind of dishes. So feel free to take some energy from a tree if you need to. Thank it for the energy, that sort of thing, to help ground you. So get out in nature a little bit more this week. Like I said, if you have a choice between walking on cement or grass, walk on the grass this week, because it will help ground you and connect you, that sort of thing. So then, you got one of the really pretty cards for the mermaid cards. This is actually one of the more gentler cards, but they do give you tough love no matter what. So healing heart, and there's a little mother mermaid and a little baby mermaid there. Such a pretty card. So heart chakra. Pay attention to your heart chakra this week. It also says you are a powerful healer. Keep up the good work. So you are being called to be a healer this week. Healing of yourself, because perhaps you've not been feeling grounded. You really need to ground, because there's someone who's going to need you this week. It could be someone that you need to talk to, someone that you actually have to help, be a caregiver for, whatever it might be. In some way, you're going to have to be a healer, but it's sort of Dr. Heal Thyself first, but make sure that you're in a good place. So pay attention to your heart chakra. So on top of eating root vegetables and things like that, eat green things. Bring in some kale, some lettuce, some cucumbers, things like that. All the green foods, spinach. Make up some spinach dip if you have to. That's always delicious. And bring more green into your life. So wear some green as well if you've got some jade or some emerald or that kind of color happening. Bring that into your life, because you need to pay attention to your heart chakra, because perhaps you've been a little stressed as well. So pay attention to that heart chakra so that you can open it up, because you're going to be asked to share that energy and that love of your heart chakra to help someone in their healing journey. Your spirit animal, you got the gorilla. Okay, that's what I call my husband. He's my gorilla. So take the time to listen. So there's the big old gorilla there. They eat a lot of greens too. So take the time to listen compassionately to those you love, especially your family members. So you're being asked, because gorillas are all about the family, right? You're being asked, you may have to step up for one of your family members and really help them through a crisis time. That's why they led you in with, get grounded, eat more root vegetables, eat more greens, because you are the healer. You're going to be that rock for someone. So Be aware of that. Someone's going to need your help this week. What you need to give up: surrender your desire to control people. So that's something to think about. As a healer, we want to give our love, we want to give our healing energy, we give our time sometimes when we're a caregiver for someone, we give our advice. Advice is best given only when asked for, not unsolicited advice, because unsolicited advice is your desire to control people. So sometimes some of our healing comes from just being there and being silent and letting someone either vent or whatever, kind of get it out of their system sort of thing. If it's that kind of healing where it's sort of a more of a I need to talk this out kind of healing. Being over controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give the situation some breathing room. A lot of times, really what people need, if they're asking for help or in need of help, especially if it's an emotional kind of situation, is they just need us to be there. Just to be there. Be a stone. The stones of the world are the wisdom keepers. They've been here longer than any of us, or any plant, or anything. Be the wisdom keeper. Just be a stone. I'm here. You can touch me when you need to. If you need to, lean on me or something. If you need my hand to hold on to, I'm here to hold your hand. So be the stone. That's how you are going to be that healer. That's why you need to ground first, because stones are very grounded. So you need to be very grounded, and you need to be the stone for somebody, the rock for someone. Be the wisdom keeper, be the compassionate witness, and only give advice. You will not necessarily be solicited for advice, but only give it if asked for. But really in this situation, like they said, back off, regroup, and just be there. Munch on your kale and just be there for someone. So that's your week for the coins people. So for chalices or goblets or cups, the energy you're in is it's time to release negativity. Full moon in Scorpio. So this is it's going to be an intense week for you. Feelings are going to come to the surface, feelings of perhaps anger, perhaps bitterness, some betrayal, maybe some jealousy. Maybe you're getting, a little bit of doubt happening, or sort of paranoid thoughts happening. Because it happens to us all. We all have those, fearful moments when we're like, oh my gosh, does she really like me? Does he think I'm mad at him? Whatever kind of thing, right? So it's time to release negativity. And because it's a full moon in Scorpio, it means that it's a very intense time, but it's also a good time for your wishes to come true. In particular, the wishes your secret wishes, your deep wishes. Because Scorpios are all about keeping the secret. They're also notoriously known for being jealous people, because they like to hang on to those that they love. So don't be jealous this week, because that might come up a little bit. You're jealous of people, and it's not always a lover. It can be you're jealous of someone's lifestyle, or they always seem to be able to afford this, or they have such a great job, or they always seem to have a good time, and I'm jealous of that, right? So watch your vernacular too this week. Instead of saying, oh, I'm so jealous that you get to do this, or I'm so jealous, celebrate. Truly celebrate. Oh, that's awesome that you're able to do that. And when you say I'm jealous of this, or I wish I could do it like you, you're putting up blocks for your own ability to do that, or your own situation to come in for that. So be careful of that. So this is what this is saying. It's saying this too can happen to you, whatever you want or desire, because a lot of your wants and desires are going to be churned up by someone else doing it or having it or whatever. So instead of, oh, they've got all the money in the world, or oh, they've got the perfect job, or they've got the perfect marriage, celebrate that, wow, that's great that they have that. I hope I have it too. You know, you might not have it now, but I hope it's coming for me as well. You know, instead of, I'm so jealous of you, you know, that sort of thing. So be careful of that, because you have a great opportunity for wishes to come true this week, but you might be your own worst enemy by what you're saying and setting up blocks. So be mindful of that and release that negativity around those kind of situations. So here come the girlfriends. The mermaids say, ready, set, go. Ready, set, go. So movement is happening for you. Now is the perfect moment to dive in and embrace your heart's desire. Just like the full moon said, it's a wishing week for you guys. Now's the time to do it. Now's the time to grab it. Don't set up your own blocks and sabotage yourself with those negative feelings. Celebrate those that have it and go after it yourself. Get whatever you want. Ready, set, go. This is the week for it to happen for you. So keep that in mind. So when we have negativity around us, we tend to block those good things that want to come in. So get rid of that negativity and just go ahead. Do it. Do it, do it, do it. Oh, and you got a cool spirit card too, or spirit guide. You got the tiger. Ooh, the tiger. So you're being called upon to provide leadership. So trust that you're capable of doing so. So you're going to be put into a position of sort of the elder, the wise one, the smart one, the one that knows stuff, the one that's capable, like I said, a leadership role. So know that you can do this. Don't have those doubts about yourself. You're good. You're good. Don't undervalue yourself. Know that you're capable of this. So your wishes are coming true this week. You're going to be recognized as a leader. You're going to be called upon to be a leader. So step up, because now's your time to ready, set, go. And then what you need to surrender is surrender to the wisdom of your body. So this is really interesting, because I often tell people our mouths are capable of lying because our mouths are controlled by our brain. But our body cannot lie. Your body doesn't lie. It's incapable of lying. And if you tell a lie, it manifests in your body in some way. It could be a rash, it could be a headache, it could be a nervous tic of some kind, it could be some anxiety. You know, it's sort of like, it's weird how your body will kind of respond to some of these things. And your body responds physically when you're lying, especially to yourself, about something that you're doing, or a situation you're in, or, you know, if you refuse to change when there's a change that needs to happen, that sort of thing. So it says, listen to your body's messages about a person or a situation. Perhaps there's a situation you're in that's not good for you, or a toxic person in your life that you keep going, well, you know, I'll let her hang out because, you know, she's always sad. And, you know, now sometimes you gotta just let that go, kind of thing. If you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If you are energized and happy, move forward. So pay attention when you're called upon to be this leader, and when you're ready, set, and going, move forward. I often tell clients, again, like I said, the body can't lie. So if you're wondering, like, say for instance, there's 2 job opportunities that you've got, or 2 jobs you're thinking about. Maybe you haven't even been offered these jobs yet, but you're thinking about them and you're not sure which way to go. When you talk about it, talk about the job, even if it's to yourself in the mirror. See which one you lean forward on more. Because you'll find, even if you're talking in the mirror, if you're like, oh, well, I'm going to be doing this, and it's really exciting because I'm going to be doing that. And the other one, you're maybe like, oh, I just, you know, like doing that, and then I'm going to go here. And, you know, the first one you were leaning forward in. Watch your body. See what it does. It's called muscle testing. And when you lean forward, it's your body's way of saying yes. Because your body can be a pendulum as well. So watch when you talk about something. Are you pulling away? Are you staying neutral? Or are you coming forward? If you're coming forward, if you're leaning forward, then move into that. If you're feeling excited and happy, you know when you're excited and happy. If you're feeling like, oh God, you know, like, yeah, it would be a great job because it would be a better paycheck, but, you know, I have to do this and I have to do that. You're sinking lower and lower. That means you probably shouldn't be doing that job, even if it's a better paycheck, because you're not going to like it very much. And it's going to drain you and make you pay in other ways. Okay, so now we're on to the wands. Those that picked the wands. So, your energy for your Moonology card is you're very close to achieving your goal. So you're in a gibbous moon. So gibbous moon is almost a full moon. It's like, oh, you're right there. So the reason you might be getting this card is because this week you might feel like, I often say, because when I get frustrated, I'll say my life is full of millimeters, because it's like, oh, this will fit, but it's just a millimeter too long, or it's a millimeter too short, or, you know, my life is full of millimeters. So that might be what you're feeling this week, is that, oh my God, I'm so close, but I'm not there. And often we'll give up when we're closest to our goal because we feel like we're hitting a wall. So this week might feel like you're hitting a wall, but you're not. So you're right there. You're right there. Keep going, because you might actually feel like you're getting a no, or you're getting a wall, or you're getting pushed back in some way. You push back against it, because you'll break through that and you'll get through. So this week might feel a little frustrating for you, those that pick the wands, but you're this close. Your life is a millimeter right now away from achieving your goal. So don't give up now. Also, the girlfriends, the mermaids, have to tell you about worthiness, okay? So like I said, she's here leaning against herself. It's a dark night. She's not even looking at the full moon that's there. It's all there. Another gibbous moon. Maybe it's a gibbous moon. Maybe it's not quite full, right? So your wishes are about to come true. Worthiness. Know that you're worthy of what you want, because this week might feel like you're doubting yourself, like, oh, that didn't work out. Well, maybe I'm not worthy of this. Maybe I'm not worthy of that because, you know, this thing didn't seem to work out for me or whatever. You're being challenged. Take the challenges like a champ. Know that you deserve to receive good in all ways, and truly believe that. That's your mantra this week. I am worthy of the good that I deserve in all ways. I am worthy of the good that I deserve in all ways. I am worthy of the good that I deserve in all ways. That's your mantra. You are worthy. You might doubt that this week. Don't try to overcome that. You're going to be challenged on that. So take those challenges and know, step into your queendom and know you're a queen and you can do whatever you want. Move the mountain, as only women know how to do. Your, this is interesting, your spirit guide is a honeybee. And instantly when I thought of it, I thought of the bumblebee, because the bumblebee is designed to, aerodynamically, he should not be able to fly, and yet he does, because he believes he can fly. So just like this card says, believe you can fly, and you will. So your spirit guide is the honeybee. The honeybee. Let compassion and forgiveness be your top priority in this situation. So whatever that situation is that's coming up this week, or maybe you're already in, let compassion and forgiveness be your top priority. Don't let it ground you. And I don't mean grounding in a, you know, you're stable, like I said, for the first pile, which was swords. I mean, don't let it ground you so you're not able to fly. Don't let it depress you. Don't let it hold you back. Don't use it as an excuse to hold you back. Let compassion and forgiveness be your top priority, because it's in forgiveness that we maintain and get our freedom. Because really, forgiveness, I often say, is a selfish act, because what we're doing is we're cutting cords from that negativity, from that situation, from that toxic person, whatever it might be, and we're freeing ourselves from it. So forgiveness is a big thing for you guys this week as well. And it could be forgiveness of yourself. It might not be a person, it's probably a situation, and it's a situation that you're in and you're not able to forgive yourself. Maybe you flubbed something, maybe you made a fool of yourself, maybe you made an outright mistake. Forgive yourself and move forward, and know that you're worthy despite the fact that you made a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes. Remember your mantra: I am worthy of all the good, I deserve in all ways. So remember that mantra, okay? Okay, so what you need to let go of is surrender to setting limits. We are notorious as humans for setting our own limits. I get a cold every December. By saying that, my body's hearing me and my subconscious is hearing me, and every December it will make sure I get a cold because I'm setting that limit. We often set limits. Watch what you're saying out loud. Watch what you're saying to yourself. Are you setting those limits? Oh, I could never do that because I'm, no good at this. That's a limit. Yes, you're right, because you've set that limit and you will not go beyond that limit. So you're correct, right? So watch what you're setting. It says it is healthy to set boundaries. Boundaries are different from limits in relationships. Practice expressing your needs, and remember that no is a complete sentence. It took me a long time to figure out that no is a complete sentence. It was in fact my daughter who taught me that no is a complete sentence. She worked at her first job, and she worked retail, and in retail often, especially as a younger person and as older people too, but retail tends to take advantage of especially first time people in retail. You work the extra hours, you work the crappy hours, you work long hours, and all that kind of stuff, along with everything else that comes in retail. I worked retail for many, many years, and I know some of the crap that comes with retail. It can be a very rewarding job as well, but there's a lot of shit sandwiches, as I call it. Every job has a shit sandwich. Retail tends to have a buffet of shit sandwiches. But she would say no when she felt like, no, I'm not working these tall hours this week. I'm not working this extra shift. She didn't say no all the time, but she did say no. And when she said no, it was simply no. And and for me, it took me a long time to realize that, because when I would say no, I would always give like an excuse, a backstory, a reason, whatever it might be. Oh, I'm really sorry I can't because blah, 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 and whatever the story was, and really, they don't care. They don't care what the story is. And I'm not just talking about bosses. I'm talking about anybody you say no to. They don't really care. They just want to know. I mean, they care, but they don't, right? If you're telling a girlfriend, I can't go to your get together tonight. I'm sorry, I can't go. Or no, sorry, I can't go. I don't have the time. You don't even have to say that. See, I'm still in that habit. No, I can't. Sorry. And you don't even really have to say sorry, but you can. If it was a girlfriend, I would say, I'm sorry, I can't. But no is a complete sentence. You don't have to give a reason. You don't have to give a backstory. You don't have to give an excuse. And most of the time, it doesn't really matter anyways, because they don't really care what the excuse is. They just want to know yes or no. So give them no if that's what's appropriate for you. If that's what you want to do. If you want to say yes, then say yes. But know that no is a complete sentence. And keep in mind that it is healthy to set boundaries in relationships. Sorry, I've been talking all day, so I gotta wet my whistle a little. So there might be someone that you have not been setting those boundaries with because of your lack of feeling worthy, that you let them walk all over you, that you feel you need to always help them out in whatever situation, that you're their go-to, like if I'm going out, if I need help, if I need to vent, and then you become a punching bag. So set those limits. Also know that, the honeybee is about compassion and forgiveness. So don't hold a grudge against someone who maybe has overstepped their limit as far as the boundary. Make the boundary clear and forgive them. You don't have to say, I'm so sorry, or, like, I forgive you kind of thing for overstepping the limits. Just in your heart, forgive them and know that the forgiveness and compassion is there, but also set the healthy boundary and say no if you need to for them. Like if they call you for the 10th time that day to vent about their love of their life and how horrible they are. You don't have to sit and listen to it all the time. And don't feel guilty if you're saying no. So that's the main reading. Now we're going to get into the questions. So I've got Lori M. I'm just doing last names as initials this week. So we've got Lori M. And she wants to know, well, her question is actually a two-part question. So her question is, will my surgery be soon? And will my surgery be covered? So we'll ask, will my surgery be soon? And it looks like it's a positive, but it's a slow kind of positive. So I would say yes, it's going to be relatively soon. Probably not as soon as you would like, but it will be soon. So within the next few months, I would say. I know you probably want it in the next few weeks, but it's going to be in the next few months. So it's still soon. Will it be covered? It's not really giving me a clear answer there. It's just sort of saying maybe, maybe. So yes, your surgery will be soon. It's sort of a maybe. It sort of wobbled a little bit on the covered part. So maybe part of it will be covered and some of it won't be. I'm not sure, but it's not giving me a firm yes or no on that one. So now we've got Tracy K. Will we move from our current home within the next 2 years? Okay, so will we move from our current home within the next 2 years? And it was immediately swinging yes. So it is a yes. Maybe I should tilt this down a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, sorry. Now I've moved it because I've been moving the camera. So Tracy, it looks like yes. You will move from your current home within the next 2 years. It seemed like a fairly eager and hard yes. So that's good news, I hope. Mandy D. What can I do to communicate more efficiently? And can the Mercury gods be pleased? Okay, so your first question can't really be answered by the pendulum because I asked for yes or no questions, and that's not really a yes or no question. But can the Mercury gods be pleased? Let's see. It's swinging yes. So they can be pleased. So at least part of your question was answered. If you want to know what you can do to communicate more effectively, I don't know, maybe if that was for the piles or something. So hopefully you got an answer in the pile, but you can also do a more in-depth reading with me if you want to do that to see about communication. We've got Shelly P next. Should I take this job? Okay, so let me kind of reset it. Hang on, I want to ground it here. Should I take this job? Yeah, it's saying yeah. It's pretty happy yeah. So yes, it's saying yes, you should take this job. Okay, and Carol D. Will I survive and thrive from this new health challenge of cancer? That's a hard one to answer because if the answer is no, then that's not a good sign. And also too, I think it's a more complicated question than just yes or no. However, I have had someone come in and do a yes or no spread and it was cancer as well. Now, that being said, I didn't know what the question was before she asked it because with the yes or no spread, you don't have to tell me the question. So I wouldn't be comfortable necessarily using the pendulum to answer that question. I would more want to, I'm not sure I'd even want to do a tarot reading, to be quite honest. The tarot reading might give some ideas and outcomes of, attitudes. And really, as a cancer survivor myself, it really, really is about the attitude. So if you ever want to talk about that, let me know, because I know my doctor said to me the main reason I walked away from a cancer that 90% of people do not walk away from was because I was ready to battle and I had a really, really good attitude towards it. So it is definitely a head game. Cancer's a head game in a big, big way, from my personal experience. So if you ever want to talk, let me know and we can set that up. So I understand some of the worries that you have. I understand some of the frustrations you're going to have. And it's a big, big subject, definitely. So much good luck to you, and I'm sending you so much love and healing vibes. I will keep you in mind when I next do my meditations, when I do them for those that need some extra love and help for whatever struggles they're going through. I will put you on that list. So Sherry BG is your initials, last initials. Am I on the right path to improving my health? So I've seen a lot of people on Facebook, eating better and exercising and stuff like that through COVID. So are you on the right path? So I'm assuming you've made some changes. Okay, so it's starting to go around in a circle. It's going around in a clockwise circle, very strong clockwise circle. So it's positive. So it's saying, basically what I'm picking up from this is that you are doing a lot of good things. You're doing a lot of the right things. There's still room for improvement, but what masterpiece can't be improved? So know that you're a work in progress, and there are going to be times when you fall off the wagon, and there's going to be times when you have really great days. Don't beat yourself up for the bad days. We all have challenges and things like that. And know that you're perfect just as you are right now, and that it's good that you're taking care of your health, definitely, and you're loving yourself through trying to improve your health. But there's always room for improvement as well. But you're generally on the right path. It seems to like what you're doing. So yeah, keep up the good work, and know that it's okay if you step off every once in a while. But generally, yeah, great job. So Julie B, will I ever lose the weight I want to? Okay, so it's kind of doing something weird. It's sort of bouncing. So right now it's saying, what I'm picking up is that you're going to yo-yo, and you're gonna have times when you've lost some weight and it's great, and then you're gonna kind of gain some weight, or you're gonna go off the diet or whatever. So just be gentle with yourself. Dieting, I'm a big girl, so who am I to speak of diets? I like food, so I enjoy life and I enjoy food. I love good food, like really good food. So enjoy, yes, but examine your relationship with food. Try to, at least that's what I've been trying to do, is trying to improve, my relationship. It's like a marriage, right? Because you can't divorce food. It's always there. It's the one addiction you can't totally give up. Cigarettes you can give up. If you're a drug addict, you can give up the drugs and never have to touch them again. If you're an alcoholic, you can give up the alcohol and never have to touch it again. And I'm not saying it's not a hard thing to do. It's an incredibly huge thing to do. But food, you can't give it up. You still gotta eat, and and if that is your addiction, it's kind of like saying to the alcoholic, well, you can only have one beer a day, but you have to have the beer every day, but you can't go beyond that beer. You know, it's next to impossible for an alcoholic to just have one beer. That's why they're an alcoholic. So that's the trouble with being a food addict, if that's part of your issue. So really examine your relationship with food. It's a journey I'm on, so I don't have all the answers for that. And some of us are just meant to be bigger people, and that's okay. I've part of the first part of my journey was learning to love me as I am, as a big person. Because if you hate yourself, if you don't like parts of you, if you think you're terrible, and stop using the word lose weight. You don't want to lose weight. A very good friend of mine rephrased it for me, and it really changed how I looked at things. I'm releasing weight. Because sometimes you're hanging on to weight for emotional reasons, and when you say you lose weight, it means, oh, it's gone somewhere, I gotta go find it. And your subconscious sees it that way too. Oh, it's gone somewhere, I gotta go find it. It's like, so you're not losing weight, you're releasing weight. You want to release it because you're in a better place and you've forgiven the person, the situation, yourself, whatever it might be. And then, of course, you have to examine your relationship with food, which is a whole lifelong complicated thing. But I hope that you find some solutions, some new ways of being on that journey. But the first, I feel, important step is to stop beating yourself up for being what you deem fat and what you deem as not good enough. I'm overweight, I'm unhealthy, I'm fat. You know, those things, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. And love yourself the way you are right now. And love yourself 10 pounds from now, 50 pounds from now, 90 pounds, whatever amount kind of thing. If it comes off, that's great. But the mental has to sort of change and the spiritual kind of has to change first. I am just figuring this out because I've tried every diet in the world and I've been up and I've been down and all around. And yeah, love yourself first. And it can be a very, very long journey in that. And when you look at yourself and think, oh my God, I don't like that part of myself, step back and go, no, I love you. And when I'm in the shower, when I'm soaping up different parts of me, I'm like, I love this part of me, and I love this part of me, and I love this part of me. I want to love every part, and you know, I love it, and I know that if I love it, it will go away, and I will release it. So, you know, it's been a journey, but that's the best I can give you right now. It's kind of saying you're yo-yoing or you're going to be yo-yoing. So that's why I kind of said maybe you need to examine your approach to how you're doing it, how you're loving yourself, what your relationship is with food, that sort of thing. Again, this would be a much deeper reading. If you ever want to come in and do a tarot reading, we can definitely do that and examine some things that will work best for you and where your purpose is and where you're supposed to be physically, kind of thing. Okay, so now we're going to move on to Maureen S. And did I choose the right story to write? Okay, so it is swinging yes, and it's swinging pretty hardcore. It started out a little wobbly because I think you've had some doubts. Otherwise, why would you be asking the question? So maybe you've had a few stories that you can kind of pick from, but this one that you're writing right now is the right one, the correct one to start with at the beginning. So there you go. Your answer is yes. And Vicky B, you asked, am I on the right path towards marriage? It's a very wobbly yes. So maybe there's some issues, some doubts, some second thoughts, whatever it might be. Sorry, I'm moving it because I moved my hand. But it's saying generally yes, but it's a very wobbly yes. It's like, yeah, okay, yep. That's what my pendulum is doing. So Vicky, I would definitely recommend coming in or perhaps booking an online reading. I do online readings on Wednesdays. Or if you're local, we can book one in person if you want to come in. I would, for that question, I would definitely be having a tarot reading kind of thing, and figuring out what is really going on, what some of the issues are, because tarot is a way of telling you what you need to hear as opposed to what you want to hear. I love tarot for that reason. So get in touch if you can, Vicky. Sarah W. Well, should I buy a house? It is saying yes. Yes, you should buy a house. So there's the answer to that question. Louise C.W. Will I pass this course? Yes. Oh yeah, it's going strong. It's yes, yes, yes. Why do you have doubts about it? What's going on, Louise? You have some doubts about the course? You're going to pass it. So again, if you want to know more, get a tarot reading definitely and see what's happening there, why you're having some of that self-doubt or whatever, or just try to release the self-doubt. Hopefully you picked one of the piles and maybe that helped as well too. Tara M.D. Will I go back to school? Tara. It is saying no. No, you will not. You will not be going back to school according to the pendulum, at least not right now. You're not prepared or ready, or it's not a good time or something like that. So there's the answer to that question. It might change down the road, who knows, but right now is not the time to do that. Aaron P.A. Oh yes, okay, so you asked where will my path lead. I'm not sure if you asked that for the cards, like which pile. So hopefully you got the answer, because that is not a yes or no question, where will my path lead. If you want to know where your path leads, definitely book a tarot reading with me, and I'd be happy to kind of, let's look at your path kind of thing. I love doing those kind of readings. The fairy tale one is on sale this week, and it is definitely what I would deem a path tarot reading, specifically for, you know, where are you going to go. And it talks about challenges that you might face. It talks about your strengths. It's basically what is your fairy tale. And it's a beautiful reading. I love doing this reading. It's so magical. Everybody that's ever had it is like, oh my God, this is such a powerful reading. Even one of my clients I noticed put a comment underneath when I put it up for sale. She had it done and she was like, yeah, this was a really, really cool reading. So if you want to book the fairy tale reading this week, it's on sale for $44, I think. It's normally like $75, so it's a huge savings. You can book it online or in person. If you want to do that, send me a message and I'll send you the booking link, because you can book your own appointments right online. It's really cool, super easy, that sort of thing. And then you just pay for it online as well, like through e-transfer or PayPal. So you just let me know which way you want to pay. Usually I like payment at the time of booking, just because then the money energy is taken care of and we're going into the tarot reading with none of that money energy happening. So let me know, and it's $44 taxes in and all that kind of stuff. So it's good that way. It's awesome. So we can find out where your path is going, what your fairy tale is. And I do put in a lot of different fairy tales. So one of the beautiful things about it too is everyone's reminded of fairy tales, because it's like, okay, this is the pumpkin, and there's the magic mirror from Cinderella, or I mean from Snow White, and the glass slipper from Cinderella, and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of storytelling in it. It's awesome. Lindsay H., you're my last one. Is the reoccurring orb you are seeing, is it a person? You're wondering if it's a person or what it is, kind of. I'm just going to ground my pendulum here for a second before I set it on its way. Wow, yeah, it is someone. It's a person. I'm not sure who it is, obviously, because this was just a yes or no question. If you want to know more, again, I know I keep harping on this. Book a tarot reading, because I do actually do tarot readings where past loved ones can come through. This week I'm doing a very special tarot reading. It's a lady who has lost her mother, and she's bringing her mother's tarot deck. And I'm going to do the reading with her mother's tarot deck, which to me just is amazing. I do quite a few, let's kind of get in touch with people. Not all tarot readings are about talking to the dead or getting messages from the dead, that sort of thing. Sometimes they're very specific for that. So I do have those tarot readings as well if you want to specifically talk to someone who you knew and has crossed over or whatever. So let me know if you ever want to book that kind of reading. So thank you so much for being here and being on this this pick a pile video. One way of payment that you can really do for me which is really great, is subscribe to my channel and keep watching my videos. Watch my other videos. I will post up my e-transfer email so that if you want to make a donation so I can keep doing these free videos for you, please consider putting a donation in. Whatever amount, it doesn't matter, it could be $1, it could be $10, whatever you feel like doing. And I appreciate you being here, and like I said, give this a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel as well, because it helps me out and it is a form of very good payment for me. So thank you so much if you can do that. I really, really appreciate that. And you can find me on Facebook at Goddess Garage Tarot Parlor. This is my parlor here. So we can do online readings or in-person readings, whatever you feel like doing. I'm in Kingston, Ontario, Canada, so if you're local, please definitely hit me up for a reading. If you're not local, that's fine. You can email me or message me on my Facebook page, and we can set something up online for you. Okay, Lady Rose here, and so glad you could join us. I hope you have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye.